Hey sheepdogs, I got a review for you today on the Nctar Mark III tactical scope. It's a 3x9x42. They call it the P4 Sniper model. I got this on Amazon. I believe I did a quick search earlier. It's like $130. You may be able to find it cheaper by doing an internet search. Somebody somewhere's always got one on sale. Now, let me start by saying the first negative thing I have to say. Unfortunately, it is made in China. I'd like to advocate buying everything U.S. Whenever possible. But unfortunately in this case, like for many of you, it was for me in this case, money was an option, or was no option I should say. I had very little money. I needed a good scope for an AR platform, and I read a bunch of reviews on this scope and decided to take a gamble, and to be honest with you, I'm very, very happy. It comes packaged pretty well. I've already had this out. I just put it back in the box here for you for this tabletop review. It's a pretty good scope. It's got a matte black finish on it. It's not a big shiny finish. Comes with the booklet on it. Lets you know everything you need to know about the scope. And comes with an extra battery because the reticles are illuminated in this one, which I thought was a pretty cool feature up until I actually tried to use it for night. I thought maybe it would help with night, but unfortunately I found it actually ruined my night vision. Maybe in a scenario where you're in the dense woods, it's getting dark and you can't discern your crosshairs with tree branches, you might want to kick one of those on. It's got 3 separate settings. Click them forward 3 times. There's 3 different brightnesses of red, I believe it is. Yeah, and you click them backwards, there's also 3 separate brightnesses for the green. Unfortunately, like I said, on even the lowest setting, the green, it was on a low visibility type thing. I was trying it out, see if it helped with that, with not night vision itself, but really dark settings. It kind of ruined it. But you know, you might be able to make it work for you. It's just an option. I didn't see it beneficial on the scope. Other than that, the optics on this scope are really incredible for it being what it is. I mean, I know every cheap manufacturer out there eventually does a good job with one of their products, and although Nctar has a 50-50 reputation when it comes to stuff, they did it right on this scope. It's got, as you can see here, it's got an elevation turret with a cap on here, and when you unscrew the cap, it fits inside the little knob on the inside, so you can use the cap to turn it. It's got the elevation turret here on the side with the graduations. The cool thing about it too is once you have it set at your 0, I have mine zeroed at 100 yards, you can go ahead and loosen the screw on the cap and remove it and put your 0 mark on. I like to use here on the side, but you can put your 0 mark on top. So once you start adjusting for elevation for, you know, distant shots, you can always go back to 0 and know that you'll be set for your 100-yard mark. Another cool feature, doesn't help me, is this top elevation knob, also a built-in drop compensator. Now you read the book and it says it's calibrated for the .223 round with a 55 grain bullet, and unfortunately my AR is a 6.8 SPC caliber, so the drop compensator doesn't work for me, but everything else on the scope works awesome. It's got a locking lever here for quick disconnect. It'll mount to any Weaver rail, and it holds at 0. I quite often take this off of my AR for transport, and as long as you put it back in the very notch that you set it at, it holds at 0. And I've done it multiple times, taking it off and putting it back on, and it is always held at 0. And I've fired maybe about, in the year I've owned this, I've fired about 700 to 800 rounds through my AR of 6.8, and this thing is still holding at 0 from the first time I set 0 at 100 yards. Alright, some specifications on the scope for those of you who wanted to get an idea about how big this is. Length, it's stated as 7.54 inches, so just over 7.5 inches long. Weight is pretty good. It's 16.7 ounces. As I said, it's a matte black finish. The click value on your elevation here is a 1/2 inch MOA at 100 yards. It's got a mill dot reticle in it. I don't know if you can see it or not. I'm going to try to put it up here to the camera. There we go. You can't really see it. Oh, there it is. It's got a mill dot reticle on it. Pretty cool. I got it zoomed all the way back to only 3 power. You can kind of see it in there. Hope that helps. Not too squirrely, and I hope nobody's gone into seizures from it. It quotes the eye relief at about 2 inches, and I found that's about right on my AR. With my nose to the charging handle, my eye is about 2 inches away from it, so that's about right. Like I said earlier, it's a 3x9 on the magnification here, with the objective lens diameter is about 42 inches. It's a really great scope for the money. If you have the money, obviously, to buy on a more expensive, like a Leopold or an ACOG, any of those other high dollar ones, go for it. If you got the money, spend it. But if you're putting together a weapon for hunting and you've spent your money on good quality products on the weapon and you're short on cash and you need something but you can't afford the top dollar one, this is definitely a way to go. Once again, this is the Nctar Mark III tactical scope, reviewed here by Sheepdog. Any comments would be much appreciated. Thank you.